Your physical body died, but your spirit is still alive. It's not talking to me. Your grandmother. How long has it been since I left Earth? I'm talking. I feel my body. I took a bath, and I'm hungry that I may be dead. Your astral body is a copy of your physical body. When we die, we have the same habits. We have the same desires as when we were incarnated. Everything is a cycle, and yours has ended. Now you need to renew your attitudes, grow, learn new values, and who knows, have a new opportunity to reincarnate on Earth, return to that difficult world. I don't want to. I only had heartbreak and enemies. My friend stabbed me in the back. Ernestina approached and placed her hands on Heitor's. Don't say that. It was the prayers of your friends that allowed us to bring you to this place of renewal. Not just anyone has this privilege. See what happened to Isarinia. Unfortunately, we can't intervene. Heitor frowned. She also died. Valdo answered yes, but we can't help her. It can't be. She had influential friends. She was known throughout the country, famous and rich. That doesn't count at the time of death. What really matters is what we did that was good for ourselves, leaving old conditioning aside, taking care of our inner growth. Everyone on Earth who is willing to see the truth, know the universal laws, and desire the encounter with God will always be welcomed when death calls you. Unfortunately, Isenia never did anything for herself and got involved with spirits from the lower astral plane. Now she will have to settle accounts. She had a lot of prestige. Who knows? You might be able to help her in the future. You will have plenty of time to learn, study, and better understand the mechanisms of wealth. You said you prayed for me. Yes, it was thanks to these vibrations of love emanated by friends on Earth that we were able to locate him and bring him here. Who was Gustavo Aloy? Clarice Rubinho, and even Myrna. I can't believe this is nonsense. They hate me. I still feel as if Myrna were close to me, but they prayed. You notice the energies emanating from Myrna. That's why you think she's nearby. You have very similar thought patterns, and that's what still keeps you attracted to each other. As you improve and understand the mechanisms of life, you will separate. Who took care of my wake and my burial? Why this question now? Curiosity. Mario and Rubinho took care of everything. The Brandeo family was very helpful. They even sent a sum of money to your father. That's good. He never did anything for me, and when I die, he takes the best. Don't talk about your father like that. Sorry, Grandma. I know he's your son, but she never gave a damn about me. Ivan was always a protege. It was her distorted way of seeing things. But this is a subject we'll discuss later, when you have access to your past memories. Yes, past memories from other lives. Do you think you only live this one? Interesting. I'm starting to like being dead. Ernestina and Valdo laughed. He put his hand on his right shoulder. So, now that you know the truth, we need to do some treatment. How come you keep very negative impressions of the relationship you had with mine and your body? This isn't going to work. IT doesn't do you or her any good. Myrna is receiving help from spiritual friends and incarnate friends, as I saw. And of course, we can also count on Percival's love. Heitor stopped in his tracks and pushed Valdo aside. He became angry. That means she's okay and she's still with Pival. I can't believe what's the problem. Heitor, now they're in different worlds. Let your life go on and you'll go on with yours. She stepped all over me, humiliated me, and she's okay. So everyone's okay. It's the idiot who died. Pumas, for me, are the trash, the weight, the thorn in their side. She's dead. Valdo tried to calm down. Don't be like this. This state will only drive you away from here. If you continue to enter into this vibration of revolt, there's nothing we can do, and you'll have to leave here. Don't make things worse. Heitor, Ernestina, and I will take care of you. I'll forget the past. Ear gave an enraged scream. No one gives me orders. Do you understand? I have accounts to settle with Myrna when she gets her payback. I'll come back. You can still hear Ernestine pleading. Don't do this, my grandson. In vain in a matter of seconds. Heitor was in the same place he had been before. His only goal was to find where I'm going. Which way to go? He's lost. Who are you? I am me. It doesn't matter how much you talk. You run back and forth. I want to get out of here. Where do you want to go? There are some scores to settle with a whore. The spirit laughed. Revenge. I know. So I want to get out. I need to reach her. You're doing everything wrong. How is everything wrong? First, you have to bring the image of the whore to your mind. That's easy. In a moment, the image of Myrna appeared in Heitor's mind. And now, if she's protected by the beings of light, you won't be able to get close. But if she weakens, you can even stick to her. That's what I want. I want to stick to her until she can't take it anymore and dies. If she's on the same vibration as you, it'll be easy to find her. But if she's cultivating positive thoughts, forget it. It's a lost cause. She wasn't the type to cultivate good thoughts. The spirit perked up. She has some weak point. How come there's guilt? A very big fear. I think it's difficult for an incarnate being not to have one. Heitor thought for a moment and then gave a triumphant shout. Of course, she has a very dark past. So it's up to you to help her panic. There will be the key to bringing them together. First, I need to get out of here. Concentrate hard on her image. You will reach her through the vibration of the energy, but I'm warning you now, if she is protected, the distance will take longer. He thanked the spirit and continued walking. He saw a bench made of twisted branches and sat down. The image of mine was fixed in his mind. In a few seconds, he was in Maria Helena's room. He looked around fascinated. He sat on the bed and tried to touch her, but his hand went through the mattress. He tried to grab the objects on the nightstand, but his hand also went through them. He played and had fun until he heard voices. 2 women came out of the bathroom and sat in front of the dressing table. They were Maria Helena and Myrna. He said with joy, I finally found her. Heitor stood up and threw himself on Myrna. However, a strong light around her threw him to the corner of a room. He felt dizzy and got up with difficulty. He began to feel pain in his head, and blood was running down his forehead again. He looked at the 2 of them, and also saw a glow around Maria Helena. A strong light appeared in front of him, and soon a woman's face appeared. Heitor took a step back. You're an intruder, he told her. The woman shouldn't be here. Ernestina assured me she would keep you away, but she couldn't. My hatred for Myrna is greater than anything. Don't come near her, as this invisible world is crazy. A whore deserves protection. What madness! Who are you to judge? The violent beatings she received weren't enough. You didn't mistreat her beyond measure. Now that's enough. Go study and grow up and prepare for a new journey. Don't mess with Mina. If I'm here, it's because she's still attached to me. She can't have improved that much at that moment. And Helena asked about the incident in the office in my eyes. Of the incarnates, Myrna managed to mask her shame. However, for Heitor, the show began at that moment. As Myrna was becoming covered in guilt and fear, the light around her was diminishing in intensity. Eustace tried at all costs to push him away, but there was little he could do. He prayed in his spirit, Allah, I'm going to the emergency room to get help. Heitor delighted in Myrna's weakness. He laughed nonstop. A light in Tom Brown formed around her, and he easily attached himself to her. Now you can't escape. I die because of you. Heitor's spirit practically stuck itself to Myrna's energy field. She went down the stairs and began to feel headaches and nausea. Maria Helena was frightened. What's wrong? You're not feeling well. I don't know. I have such a bad headache. I'm going to take a pill. Maria Helena sat Myrna in an armchair. Gustavo was in the living room and felt strange energies in the room. He closed his eyes and concentrated. Shortly after, he clearly saw Heitor's spirit next to Myrna. He connected with her. His mentors, and soon 2 of them appeared before him. Gustavo asked, What can I do? He is connected to her because she allows it. I feel helpless. One of the guides suggested, He can't see us because of the vibration, but he can see you. Tell me, I call you. That's what Gustavo did. He mentally addressed Heitor. Why are you doing this? Heitor was startled and looked at Gustavo in astonishment. St nodded. How can you see me? I'm dying. I have well-developed mediumship. I can see and hear you, but you won't stop me. I have scores to settle after what we did. He doesn't even thank you for prayers. Thank you, but that's not the point now. She humiliated me. She humiliated me, and she deserved the beatings. The guide addressed Gustavo, without Heitor noticing. I know what we're going to do. It's delicate, but I think it'll be worth it. Keep Heitor here in a room and convince him that Mira needs to be well for after the wedding. We'll make her fall asleep, and we'll disengage her spirit from her physical body. We'll take them both to Nasolar and clarify some things. What do you think? I'm worried. If someone tries to wake her up, make Lipval drink a little more than usual. The drink helps to more easily displace the astral body from the physical. A few sips of champagne, only tomorrow. She'll think she had a dream, but nothing more. Gustavo agreed. Okay, I'll do what they ask. He talked a lot with Heitor, who finally gave in. Okay, but I'm not going to room. I have to be careful. I don't miss it. Okay, but don't you see that a dark thread is on her waist, and I saw that from the height of her stomach. There's a thread that is connected to the stomach in front of her. We are linked. Unfortunately, yes, this has been going on for a while. One of us will have to give in and change. Then this energetic knot will disappear as if by magic. I'm the one who won't give in. The bitch will have to graze a lot. Okay, but leave her alone until the party is over. Feel free to rest assured that the thread that connects them will not come undone now. Calm down. Here finally convinced himself and moved away, and Mina felt a noticeable improvement. Maria Helena came with an aspirin. Audiobook produced by Canal Suri. Audiobook, take it. Myrna took the pill and put it in her mouth. She drank some water and swallowed it. I need to be well. Let's hurry. The wedding is about to start. Myrna got up, and they went to the beautifully decorated gardens of Leocadia's house. Eugenio was Mario's best man. Carlotta was Clarice's godmother. They were both very discreet and behaved like friends. Leocadia truly realized that she felt nothing for Eugenio except respect. Now, as ex-married couples, they were re-evaluating their beliefs. Eugenio was trying to recover the years he had been apart from Carlotta. Leocadia was trying to accept things as they were. Now she was closer to Maria Helena, and this made her very happy. She was making plans for after Mario and Clarice's wedding. She had renovations to do in the house. Furniture needed to be replaced. In short, she had something to keep her busy. Besides, of course, regularly attending rejuvenation clinics and meetings at Gustavo's house. Carlotta's presence at the party didn't bother Leocadia. In a way, she felt relieved and at peace with her conscience. She felt responsible for having separated the couple, and now it was with pleasure that she saw them reunited. The guests didn't notice the involvement of Eugenio and Carlotta, who that night were only the groom's father and the bride's aunt. After the beautiful ceremony, the party continued with joy. An orchestra had been hired to entertain the guests. A magnificent dinner was served, and so the party went on until the early hours of the morning. After saying goodbye to the guests, the newlyweds went to a hotel in the city. The next day, they embarked on a honeymoon trip to the northeast. Eugenio and Carlotta went to Clarice's apartment, which was supposed to be there. That week, Carlotta's real estate agent arranged the rest of the move for her niece and left. Heading to Minas Gerais, accompanied by Eugenio, who had already left the business in the hands of his children, he wanted from now on more than ever to dedicate himself to that loving relationship. Maria Helena stayed at her mother's house to keep her company. Gustavo explained Heitor's drama to her in a few words. I'm even getting goosebumps. He's still here at home. Yes, until he talks to Mina, he won't rest. What can I do to help? Invite Mina and Percival to sleep at home tonight. I made them drink a little too much, and it's not good for them to drive. Perval has common sense and will accept. Then go to the office and say a prayer. Vibrate for Heitor and for Mina. Help me keep them in a violet dome to avoid interference from incarnate and discarnate beings. I would like to participate. God suggested, Gustavo replied. The more positive forces, the better. Maria Helena gently kissed Gustavo's lips. May God protect us. May the best happen. So be it. They both replied in unison. Epilogue. It was dawn when Myrna and Percival met. They lay down. Gustavo said nothing to her so as not to provoke her. Eustaquia and Valdo were ready in the room to help her detach herself from her physical body. She didn't move from the room. She was restless because she couldn't get close to Myrna. The vibrations of Gustavo, Maria Helene, and Edom had created an energetic barrier that prevented contact between them. I don't like this. You don't have to like it or not, Eustaquia replied. We're doing our best. We'll talk soon. Pervel's astral body slept about 30 centimeters above her physical body. The same happened with Mina. Eustaquia gently ran his hand over her hair, whispering, Wake up, my dear. Myrna opened her eyes, a little dizzy because her astral body had absorbed a good dose of alcohol. Valdo raised his arms upward, and soon a colored light began to emerge from his hands. He directed them over Mina's entire astral body. After a few seconds, making movements that went from top to bottom, she finally felt better. What is it? It's me, my dear. Don't be scared. Mom, how long, yes, beloved daughter? I would like to talk to you. Come with me. She easily detached herself from her physical body and was supported by Eustaque. Evaldo, where are we going? Let's go to a beautiful garden. We have things to discuss. Okay. Valdo counted to 3, and soon they took off for the Nasolar colony. They saw a beautiful garden and sat down on a bench. Heitor was accompanied by Gustavo's 2 mentors. They sat on a bench right in front of that Enum exam. Myrna, how can I talk to all of you around here? She's a bit groggy. She doesn't even know I'm here. Valdo politely invited her to remain silent. Look, Heitor, we would like to clarify some facts for you. Could you look at this screen in front of you? What screen? In an instant, a liquid crystal screen appeared in front of Heitor. Myrna was dark at first, but gradually changed color until images appeared. They graduated. Heitor watched it like a movie. Soon a man mounted on a horse appeared, panting and angry. Hey, I know this guy, but it's me. How can that be possible? It's another man, but I feel like it's me. Valdo reassured him. Yes, they are images of his last incarnation on Earth before this one. Pay attention. And the story continued. Heitor ran to the door of a large mansion. He jumped off the horse masterfully and ran to the living room. Annie, you can't send Cecilia to the convent. No way. They are my stepdaughters. I'm doing what's best for everyone. And besides, Cecilia almost destroyed my first marriage. Or do you think I married her father for love? That's part of the past. Go crazy. It's part of the past. Move. Cecilia seduced my first husband. She's no good. She was a girl. She had no idea. Enough is enough. They're going to the convent, and that's it. But Hilda is going to marry Pedro, and I'm in love with Cecilia. Don't ever do that. You're nothing more than a pauper. You're poor. You could never marry any of my stepdaughters. How dare Leopoldo? I love her, a lie. Cecilia, she's deflowered. You can't marry. You want her because of the money. Leopoldo bit his lip angrily. I'll make Cecilia happy, he lied. You can't love if you can't financially support this union. I'd rather see them in a convent than see them married to 2 poor brothers. Now that the Count is dead, do whatever you want with them. Ophelia got the big luck. She married Malaquias, and if it was her, don't show up around here anymore. I won't let her do that. I'll call my cousin Tullio. Maybe he can help me. Rosali, call whoever you want. If you interfere, I'll ruin your life. Aunt, how can you not, please? I love Cecilia. The scenes follow one another, faster, sometimes slower, depending on the emotion they aroused. Heitor and Myrna. After a pause, Valdo continued the scenes. Leopoldo's pleas were of no use. He threw himself at his aunt's feet, screamed, kicked. Cecilia and Hilda were confined to a convent. Time passed. Leopoldo returned to his humble life at court, always complaining. Life is worthless. Being poor is terrible. What a disgrace. How unfair God was to me. Pedro resigned the situation, returned to his studies, and after much sacrifice, got a good job in a banking institution, began to progress. Instead of complaining, he gathered all his strength and dedicated himself to work and the renewal of his moral values. He joined a group of spiritualists recently arrived from Europe, full of new ideas about spiritual truths. The distance between the brothers grew until Leopoldo threw himself into drinking and gambling. Pedro tried to help his brother, but was unsuccessful. Leopoldo did not listen, and even accused him. If you had at least tried, you were a wimp. You stopped loving because of that damned old woman. I don't think she's to blame. She's doing what she thinks is best. She's protecting the girls. You're crazy, yes, for Van. And life in the convent will be better for the stepdaughters. They have a fortune from their father, and the stepmother is afraid. I hope they fall for the treasure chest scam. I learned a lot from spirituality. I'd like to attend a session. Never. You're a fanatic. You got mixed up with a bunch of ignorant charlatans. I want to help you. Leopoldo stood up angrily. I'm tired of a weak brother. We were humiliated by that old woman. Just because she has money and we don't, who would have thought? She's our blood. She's obligated to help us. But I'll still have a lot of money. It's difficult, I know. But with a little contact and another, that cut, I'll soon be able to earn a title. Pedro shook his head from side to side. Look at your condition, Leopoldo. You smell bad. Feel your breath drink. Far away. Get out of this aimless life. Nobody gives me orders. Get out of here. Go away. I don't want to see you anymore. And so the two brothers never saw each other again. As the years went by, Ophelia died. Her husband, Malaquias, with the help of a couple who were good friends of the family, Eduardo and Teresa, took the sisters from the convent. At that time, the Catholic Church had a strong hold on society, and it was with fire and sword that the nuns responsible for the convent, with the help of bought politicians. Because they kept the girls cloistered, Van's order was that the two never leave the convent. But Ophel offered a small fortune to the nuns. Within a few days, the sisters were free. It was with great emotion that Ophel embraced the sisters. 20 years had passed. Cecilia and Hilda were approaching 40 years of age, an age considered advanced for those of 1880. Malaquias and Ophelia took them home and treated them with love and affection. They had had many children, and they pampered the aunts, doing everything to make them forget those sad years in the cloister. Some time later, on an outing to the city center, she needed to go to the bank to withdraw some money. That was when she saw Pedro sitting at the table. He was older, his hair almost white, but she felt the same way about him. Years before, Pedro was still there and was in tears. Ophelia and Malaquias were very happy with their union. Cecilia still missed Leopoldo, but she learned from Pedro that he had fallen into his addiction and habit of living in taverns were not the kind of companion she wanted by her side. Over the following years, she began to forget about Leopoldo until he finally disappeared from her memory. It was during a dinner that Malaquias and Ophelia offered Princess Isabel that Cecilia met Baron Corte Real. He was a widower, had no children, and wanted to get married. During the dinner, he was introduced to Cecilia, and from there, their quick courtship and marriage were a quick leap. Cecilia still retained her rare beauty. At 45 years of age, she felt guilty for having seduced Van's husband and for having given herself to Leopoldo before. But in the current situation, the fact that she was no longer a virgin did not prevent her union with Baron Corte Real. The wedding party was discreet, and soon the bride and groom left on their honeymoon. A year after the ceremony, Cecilia went to the port to receive a batch of fabrics she had ordered from France. She and the Baron were in hand, walking along the pier when a poorly dressed and smelly man approached her. Then she was imprisoned in a convent. It's not because of the lie. Cecilia shuddered. She knew that voice but couldn't associate with that horrible and decadent-looking man. I don't know who you take me for. The Baron intervened. That's how to treat a lady. The man laughed. A lady. This lady is nothing more than an R. I went to bed with her. I knew. Cecilia recognized her immediately. She gave a cry of fright. Leopoldo, it's you. The Baron didn't understand anything. You know this guy from where? I don't mean he courted me in the past. Nothing more. Leopoldo exploded. I courted him, then sleep with a maiden and court her. And I wasn't the first because the one who deflowered her was Commander Justino, who you so incited. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. You don't know what happened. How could you not? So now you Baroness Corte Real, I was deceived. I stayed in this state because of you. It's not my fault. You don't know about the Massachusetts. A rosary. Shut your mouth. The Baron tried to intervene, but Leopoldo was furious. He pushed the Baron hard and grabbed a stick. He went after Cecilia. What are you going to do for the love of God? Leopoldo, let me explain what happened in the last few years. Cecilia begged and cried. The Baron was lying injured and had difficulty getting up. It started to rain, and people ran for protection. Cecilia screamed and begged Leopoldo for mercy. He shouldn't come forward, but he did. He shouted, "Stop, for the love of God, stop. I don't want this scene to repeat itself. No, I can't take it anymore." He threw himself on the ground and began to cry nonstop. I spent years tormenting myself with this scene. Don't show me anymore. Don't show me anymore. Myrna, even a little away, relived in her memory the entire incident. She got up from the bench and approached Heitor. They don't need to show the scene. It will always be within us. Myrna, forgive me for the love of God. Forgive me. I didn't mean to, and because I don't have any money, I lost it. Understand that I was angry. Valdo intervened. I think that the night was very beneficial. Myrna feels strong enough to disconnect from Heitor. I could see that the victim attitude does not benefit us at all. I felt weak, and so I could only worship the misfortune that resulted in more misfortunes in my life. I am tired of suffering. I no longer want to be afraid of being who I am. I feel that I am ready to adopt healthier attitudes. At that moment, the dense cord of energy connecting Heitor and Myrna broke. I felt the ST exultant with joy. My daughter, how I have waited to hear this from your mouth since I left. In that life, I was worried about your future and Hilda's. I knew that Vanya was waiting for the Count's death to do what she did. I blamed myself for many years in this last incarnation. I mitigated my feelings of guilt by helping Hilda. For other reasons, I could only vibrate for you here in the astral world. I hugged you, moved. Your vibrations helped me a lot, deep down inside me. If it weren't for your protection, I would have continued in the worldly life, and nobody would have followed the path I had chosen. You are everything to me, Mom. I always had the feeling, even in the worst moments, that I was never alone. Thank you. They both hugged and let the tears flow freely. Valdo cleared his throat. Myrna can go. Thank you for your availability. Now I believe you will reevaluate your beliefs. With more vigor, this meeting today showed you that guilt only brings harmful consequences to the spirit. I will talk to Perval. I need to tell him everything that happened to me, everything I did. If you think this will calm your heart and put an end to these destructive thoughts, go ahead. We will be by your side, radiating waves of love and understanding. Perval loves you very much and will not be willing to sacrifice himself for your mistakes. Every human being is capable of making mistakes. You stumbled and paid a very high price. Now you have the chance to have a harmonious and happy life. I will keep your words. Valdo, thank you very much. Eustace smiled. Okay, now I will accompany you. The dawn is fading. Myrna said goodbye to the mentors and Denise, who arrived just as a film before leaving was being shown. She walked to the other side. Falling to the ground, she bent down and placed a delicate kiss on his forehead. I'm rooting for you. Things will work out. May God always enlighten you. See you later. Hector said nothing, but a feeling of deep gratitude welled up in his chest. He looked and quickly lowered his eyes, moved after Myrna's departure. Gustavo's mentors also left. Denise enjoyed the view while Valdo led Atura to a nearby bench. Sit down, it's better. I'm a little confused, but I'm fine. The emotions were very strong. I didn't expect to relive all that misfortune. How could I be capable of such a cruel act? It's part of being human. You now have all the time in the world to reevaluate your stance. Your values will always be by your side. Thank you, but I can't accept being born poor again, because it was God's punishment. It intrigued me. Valdo exhaled a deep sigh. He shook his head and placed his hands over Heitor's. God never punishes us. He is only love. Let's get to the facts. After that incarnation at the end of the Empire, you wandered for many years in the threshold. Remorse consumed you, and there was no means for you to forgive yourself. We held a meeting before your reincarnation to outline in general terms the new opportunity that life granted you. You yourself asked to be born in a poor environment because you had deep-rooted thoughts of poverty within you. You would have a chance to grow if you gave credit to prosperity and wealth, but you prefer to give credit to lack, while your brother gave credit to abundance. Pedro is doing very well. He deserves it this way. Everything is right in the universe. We attract home according to the content and quality of our thoughts. For this reason, no one is born in a shack or by mere chance. This has nothing to do with evil or divine punishment. You can begin to understand the mechanisms and laws that govern the cosmos. Heitor was beginning to understand how foolish I was that I missed a unique opportunity. Others will come. You now have a chance to progress significantly. You know that cosmic intelligence governs life. By understanding the mechanisms of knowledge, we attract abundance and success to our lives. Heitor nodded. Valdo continued. Life doesn't want scarcity or suffering. Quite the opposite. It gives us the means to avoid all of this. Now close your eyes and breathe in the pure air of this magnificent garden. The rector closed his eyes and breathed in the pure, fragrant air. Now open your arms. Heitor, with his eyes closed, opened his arms. Valdo proposed, now feel the richness of life. Be open to abundance and prosperity. Your spirit needs and deserves this. Heitor realized in that instant the greatness of the universe. He felt part of that greatness. He opened his eyes and hugged Valdo. You showed me my worth. I can and want to change. I will be eternally grateful. Valdo let the tears run down his face. Heitor's gratitude was what he most needed to hear after years. It was very emotional. I think we should rest a little. What do you think? Heitor stood up excitedly. I need a good sleep. It's been a long time since I slept well. To the emergency room. You won't sleep at my house. I insist. Valdo signaled, and a beautiful girl appeared, making Heitor tremble before such beauty. Diana accompanied Heitor to the house. The boy allowed himself to be led by that beautiful, enlightened spirit. Denise approached Valdo. Oh, how wonderful. Everything worked out. You really don't fail. Didn't you say Heitor would forgive you, and it seems you've already succeeded? We still have a long way to go. I punish him too much. I know there are no victims in the world, but I had my share of responsibility. Everything I can do for him to progress, I will do without hesitation. Denise laughed excitedly. So, you won't reveal your name and your last incarnation yet. Heitor will need a lot of support, affection, a lot of love. Love heals many emotional scars. It's not right for him to know that I was Herculano, Clarice's father. What good will it do now? You're right. There are facts that add nothing to our growth. I was blessed by life, and I had the opportunity to see scenes from some past incarnations. In them, I was able to realize how much I failed in my purpose to help Heitor. Like time here in the astral plane is different from the Earth's. I had enough time to study a lot and reevaluate my attitudes. You are very lucid and change very quickly. Most of us would take years to get to where you are. I am very proud to work with you. Thank you. I have given my best. Valdo replied emotionally. I am so curious. What do you want to know? He asked, laughing loudly. Oh, I imagine what happened to Cecilio, but you don't want to tell me. You are hopeless. Denise. Oh, tell me. Valdo let out a hearty laugh. He kissed Dennis on the cheek and continued well. Leopoldo lost his reason. He advanced on Cecilia and gave her a violent blow to the head. She lost consciousness and fell into the sea, drowned, and the Baron began the loss of the woman and felt responsible, powerless, considered himself guilty even after death. That's why today he has an unparalleled protective instinct for her. There was no punishment for Hector, but the remorse made him unconsciously plan the death he had. As you can see, everything is fine, and as Denise got excited, but after all, who is who? There are so many names that I got lost. Valdo laughed again. There's Denise, you're nosy. I wasn't very interested in this story. I'm going to do my master's degree on these characters. Of course, you can explain to the newly disincarnated the destructive power that guilt imprints on the astral body. It's great. But let's look at the names. Leopoldo and Cecilia, as you can imagine, are Myrna. That's right, and Pedro's, Lou, and Rubinho. Dear Malequias and his wife, FLI, are O and Clarice. Dr. Hugo Brandeo was the Count, their father, and their cousins, Cly and Roseo, respectively, Gustavo and Maria Helena. Their friends Eduardo and Teresa are Mariano and Antonia. As is also obvious, Baron Corte Real is Perival. It seems that everything is fine. That's right. And Commander Justino must be Myrna's stepfather in this incarnation. Ivani. I bet it's Dona Leocadia herself, and Isorinia appeared in this story. She was Vanna's friend, full of arrogance, and liked to always be in the spotlight at court. She was the one who arranged things so the girls would stay in convent. Vanny couldn't do everything alone, and Zurin bought from the priests. She thought religion was driven by money and favors. I repeated the same in my last existence, getting involved in every single terrero I discovered in Rio. Now she's committed to these people. There's nothing we can do but vibrate. At the right moment, we'll be able to rescue her. Valdo, what a fascinating story. You know, it made me want something. What are we going to enjoy? The end of the dawn in Copacabana, right? Let's go now that Heitor is ready to absorb new knowledge. I have to be close by, until he falls in love with Diana again. They got up, laughing and embracing. The two enlightened spirits took flight to Copacabana. When they reached the beach, some stars were still shining in the sky, making that late morning in Rio de Janeiro one of the most beautiful spectacles of nature.